Have you ever felt like life is playing a trick on you? Like no matter how hard you try, money is always tight. And then you look at someone else and they seem calmer. Not because their life is perfect, but because when something goes wrong, it doesn't crush them. Their car breaks, they fix it. A bill pops up, they handle it. A job problem happens, they don't panic. It almost feels like they crossed a secret line. Today, I want to talk about that line. And for a lot of people, that line is $100,000. Not because $100,000 makes you rich, but because after that point, life starts to feel less heavy. In this video, I'm going to explain why the first $100,000 matters so much, why money grows faster after you hit it, why it feels like life gets easier, and at the end, I'll give you simple steps you can use to get there faster. No fancy words. Just clear ideas, real examples, and a plan. Let's be honest. If you make $100,000 a year, you are not living like a king. You still have bills. You still pay rent or a mortgage. You still pay taxes. And life is still expensive. So why does this number feel special? Because below $100,000, many people live in a place I call one problem away. One problem away from stress. One problem away from debt. One problem away from panic. After $100,000, you start to move into, I can handle it. Not I'm rich, just I can handle it. That feeling changes everything. Here's the first big idea. Money grows better when there's more money to start with. Let's do a super simple example. Imagine you invest $100, and imagine it grows by 10% in 1 year. That's $10. Nice, but it doesn't change your life. Now imagine you invest $100,000. Same 10% growth. Same year. Same type of risk. That becomes $10,000. That's a real difference. That can pay bills. That can build savings. That can change your stress. This is why people say, it takes money to make money. Not because life is fair, but because growth is based on what you start with. The second big idea is what I call the snowball rule. A snowball starts small, it rolls, it picks up more snow. Then it gets bigger and bigger. Money can work the same way. At first, it feels slow and boring. You save, and you barely feel it. You invest, and it barely moves. But after time, something flips. Because now your money is not just sitting there, it starts helping you. And the more you have, the more it can help. Let's use a simple story. Imagine someone can save $10,000 per year. And imagine their investments grow at 7% per year on average. That number is not perfect. It's just an example. At the start, they have almost nothing invested, so the growth is tiny. Year 1, you invest, and it barely grows. Year 2, you invest more, and it grows a little more. Year 3, still slow. But then eventually, your money starts adding real help. Here's the key. The first $100,000 is the hardest because most of it comes from you. Not from magic investing. It comes from your saving. You are doing the heavy lifting early. Later, your money starts lifting too. Now let's talk about the real reason life gets easier. It's not the number on your bank app. It's something simple. A buffer. A buffer means you have space. Space between you and a disaster. So instead of living like this, please don't let anything go wrong. You start living like this. If something goes wrong, I can handle it. That buffer can be emergency savings, lower debt. Extra money after bills, investments you can leave alone. When you have a buffer, you breathe differently. Here's something most people don't realize. Stress makes you spend more money. When you're stressed, you do fast choices. Fast choices cost money. Examples. You order takeout because cooking feels like too much work. You pay late fees because you forgot a bill. You get a more expensive car payment because you just need something now. You buy random stuff because you feel bad and want a quick boost. Stress is not just a feeling. Stress is a money leak. When you have more breathing room, you make calmer choices. Calmer choices are usually cheaper, so life gets easier, and sometimes it even gets cheaper. Here's one of the biggest changes people feel. At lower income, saying no is scary. No to extra shifts. No to a bad boss. No to a job that drains you. No to unfair treatment. Because you might need that money. But when you earn more and build a buffer, you can finally say, no, I'm not doing that. That power is quiet, but it changes your whole life. It changes your confidence. It changes your stress. It changes your choices. Some people hear $100,000 and think, oh, that means fancy stuff. No, the real upgrade isn't a fancy life. The real upgrade is control. Control over your time. Control over your choices. Control over emergencies. That's why life gets easier. Here's the honest truth. Most people do not get their first $100,000 from investing alone. Most people get it from saving, earning more, avoiding dumb spending, staying consistent. Investing helps, but early on, your savings matters more than your investment growth. Because your investment growth is tiny when your money is tiny. So the first mission is simple. Build the pile. Then investing can do more. Now let's talk about how to reach $100,000 faster. Not in a fake way. Not in a get-rich-quick way. In a real way. I'm going to give you 3 levers. Think of levers like controls in a video game. Pull the right levers, and you level up faster. This is the simplest lever. If you earn more, saving gets easier. Ways to do that. Ask for a raise. Yes, seriously. Apply for a better job. Learn one skill that pays more. Start a side income that fits your life. You don't need 10 side hustles. You need one thing that adds an extra. $200 a month. $500 a month. $1,000 a month. That changes the timeline. Most people focus on tiny things like coffee. Coffee is not the main problem. The big money leaks are usually housing, car payments, eating out every day, subscriptions you forgot about, buying stuff to feel better. One example, if your car payment is $600, but you could drive something decent for $350, that's $250 saved every month. That's $3,000 per year. That one choice can cut years off your $100,000 timeline. Big stuff matters more than small stuff. This means, don't let your money sit in the worst places. Simple examples. If your savings earns almost nothing, find a better savings account rate. If your job offers a retirement match, don't ignore free money. If you can invest in a normal, simple way, do it consistently. The goal is not to be a genius investor. The goal is to be consistent. Consistency beats cleverness. Let me end with the real point. $100,000 is not magic. It's not a trophy. It's a moment where you start feeling, I can breathe. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. This video is not here to shame you. It's here to explain why the beginning feels so hard. Because once you understand the game, you stop blaming yourself. And you start building your way out. If you want, my next video can be how to reach your first $100,000 faster without feeling miserable. Because the truth is, life doesn't get easier because you become a different person. Life gets easier because you finally have room. And room changes everything.